Hello students, in the last session we have discussed lists. There we have discussed how a list is declared in Python, how we can create a singleton list, and we have also discussed how elements of the list can be displayed by using a for loop. In today's session, we will continue our discussion of list and mutability. So let's start. Okay, in today's session, first we will study accessing the items from the list. You can access the list items by referring to the index number. As we have studied, every item in the list has a numeric index, same way like in tuple, every item has a numeric index. So one example how we can access an element by using the numeric index is given here. So print the second item of the list. So this is a list. So this is a name for the list, and the list contains the elements apple, banana and cherry. And if I ask you to print the second element from a list, you can print it by using the index number, the name of the list, and in square brackets we have specified the index of the item which we want to print, and here we have specified 1. As the index always starts with 0, so 1 specifies the second item from the list. As we can use the positive index values, we can also use a negative indexing. Negative indexing we have already used with string and tuples. In the same way, we can use negative indexing with list as well. So negative indexing simply means beginning from the end or displaying items from the end, and -1 refers to the last item, whereas -2 refers to the second last item, etc. For example, one example is given here. Print the last item of the list. So by using a negative index, we can print the last item. So again, this is a list which contains 3 values, and if I want to print the last item from a list, I can simply say this list in bracket -1. So that will simply print the last item, that is cherry, from the list. Okay, even it is possible to use a range of indexes. That means we can specify starting index and ending index, and we can print all the items in between the start and end. So like we did for strings slicing, so similar thing can also be done with list. You can specify a range of indexes by specifying where to start and where to end. When specifying a range, the return value will be a new list with specified items. So one important thing to remember here is whenever we specify the index, starting and ending index, it will create a new list with those many items. For example, now return the third, fourth and fifth item from the list. Suppose we want to retrieve the third, fourth and fifth item from a list. For that, how we can specify a range? So this is a list with a name, this list, containing some 7 or 8 items. So we have items apple, banana, cherry, orange, kiwi, melon and mango, and out of those items we want to print third, fourth and fifth item. For that, we can use something like this. We have a name, this list, and in square bracket we have a starting index, that is 2. and we have an ending index that is 5. So starting index 2 simply means start printing or start retrieving the items from index position 2. Index position 2 specifies the third item, that is cherry, and till the index position 5, actually it is 5 minus 1, so it will take index position up till 4. So we will be having the items from index position 3rd, 4th and 5th. So it will print the values, that is cherry, orange and kiwi. So like this we can use a range of indexes with list. Okay, next important thing is change item value. We can change individual items from the list. Now, as we have discussed earlier, lists are mutable sequences. Unlike string and tuples, which are immutable, which means we cannot change the individual elements from string or nor even from tuple. But we can change the individual elements from the list because list is mutable, that simply means list is changeable, whereas tuple and strings are immutable. We cannot make changes to the elements of tuple and strings. Now to change the value of a specific item, we refer to the index number in the list. Now consider this example. Change the second item from the list. So our list is again having the elements apple, banana and cherry, and say we want to change the second element. Second element in the list is banana. So apple is first, banana is second. Say I want to change this and I want to add a new element at that position. So black currant I want to add. So we will be adding it using the name of a list, then the position where we want to add the new item, that is position, index position, that is 1, the item 2 is equals to black currant. So this particular assignment simply changes the second item, that is banana, with a new item, that is black currant. And when we print the list, it will print the elements, that is apple, black currant and cherry. So this is how we can change individual items from the list. But the similar thing cannot be done with a tuple or a string. If we try to change any item from a list, from a tuple or string, it will generate an error message because because tuple and string are immutable. So let's try and execute one example to see if we can change an element from the list, from a tuple and from a string. Okay, let's start idle. Okay, first we'll create a string. So I'll say s1 is equals to Python. Okay, so we have created a string here, s1. Let me print and show you. So this is a string Python, and say I want to change the first character. So first character is located at index position 0. So if I say s1 of 0, you can see the first character in the string is p, that is Python p. And if I want to change that p with say j, and if I try to write something like s1 of 0 is equals to, say, I want to change it with j, and now you can see it is generating an error message, type error, str object does not support item assignment. That simply means the string is immutable. We cannot change string once it is declared. But okay, let's create a tuple now. So I'll say t1 is equals to some elements. I'll say elements as 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 different elements in the tuple. Let me print the tuple. Okay, t1. Now you can see we have 3 elements, and if I want to change the first element, the first element is 2. Sorry, the first element is 1. So if I want to change that first element with some different value, say 5 or 10, let me try doing it. I'll say t1 of 0. t1 of 0 is 1, and as I've said, I want to change it. So I'll say t1 of 0 is equals to, I'll assign 5. I want to change that 1 with the new value, that is 5. And again you can see it is generating the error message saying tuple object does not support item assignment. So that simply says again tuple is also immutable. We cannot change once it is declared. So let's try with a list now. Okay, let us create a list now. I'll say L1 is equals to, I'll use the similar items 1, 2 and 3. So this is our list. Let me print and show you the elements. L1. So these are the elements of a list, and let's try changing the first element. So I'll say L1 of 0. As you can see, the first element in the list L1 is 1. I'll change it now. So I'll say L1 of 0 is equals to the new value which I want for L1 is L1 of 0 as 5. So I said 5. Now you can see here there is no error generated. So the assignment here, it is successful, meaning that the list is mutable. That means changeable. We can change the individual items from the list, whereas individual items from string and tuples cannot be changed because those are immutable objects. So let me again print and show you the new list. Now new list contains the elements that is 5, 2 and 3. The old list had the elements that is 1, 2 and 3, but new list contains the element 5, 2 and 3. Okay, let's go back to the PPT. Next is loop through a list. Now you can loop through the list items by using a for loop. We have already seen how we can loop through the elements of a list by using a for loop, but here we will use a different kind of loop. So you can see in this example we have a list, this list which contains apple, banana and cherry, and we can loop through all these items and we can print the items by using a for loop, that is for x in this list, and we are printing x. So every time the loop executes, one item from this list is assigned to x and we are printing x, so that it will first print apple, banana and cherry. So this is how we can loop through a list and we can print all the elements from a list. So let me show you the earlier example which we have seen here. We have created a list with 3 items, 5, 2 and 3. So let me use a loop here to print the elements. I'll say for x in our list name is L1 and colon, then I'll say print L1. Okay, I'll say for x in L1, then print x. So look at the output. It has printed the values 5, 2 and 1, which are the values of our list L1. So this is how we can loop through the elements from the list. Okay, that's it for today's session. We will stop here. Thank you.